Hello and welcome to Study with Sri. From today we will discuss a mains answer writing question regularly. Today's topic is Uttarakhand likely to be the first state to implement Uniform Civil Code. What to study for answer writing? We know that answer writing includes three parts. One is introduction, next is body, and next is conclusion or way ahead. So in introduction, we can write what is Uniform Civil Code. And in body part, we can write constitutional provision of Uniform Civil Code in India, arguments in favor of Uniform Civil Code, challenges in implementation of Uniform Civil Code, and way ahead. An expected question will be discuss the challenges that India could face in implementation of Uniform Civil Code. So why it is in news? Recently, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that Uttarakhand is likely to become the first state of the country to implement a Uniform Civil Code. What is Uniform Civil Code? Uniform Civil Code refers to a provision of one law for the entire country applicable to all religious communities in their personal matters such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption. Currently, separate personal laws apply for the members of different major religions. So, Uniform Civil Code is a provision of one law for the entire country irrespective of their religion in their personal matters. That is marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption, etc. Currently, we know that major religions like Muslims are followed separate laws. Like all the Muslims in India are governed by Muslim Personal Law Shariat Application Act 1937. This law deals with marriage, succession, inheritance and chariots among Muslims. The Dissolution of Muslim Marriage Act 1939 deals with the circumstances in which Muslim women can obtain divorce. So there is separate law for Muslim named Dissolution of Muslim Marriage Act 1939, which deals with the circumstances in which Muslim women can obtain divorce and the rights of Muslim women who have been divorced by their husband to provide related matters. These laws are not applicable in the state of Goa, where Goa Civil Code is applicable for all persons irrespective of their religion. These laws are not applicable to Indians, including Muslims who married under Special Marriage Act 1954. So, in Goa, there are no separate laws for religion, for any religion. They followed Goa Civil Code. And if a Muslim marry in Special Marriage Act 1954, then these separate laws are not applicable to Indians, including Muslims. Constitutional provision regarding Uniform Civil Code. Article 44 contains Part 4 of the Constitution, which includes directive principle of state policy, which are not enforceable and justiciable in a court of law. It says that state shall endeavor to secure for citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. So it said that state shall try to secure for citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. Our constitutional makers were so wise. They know that at the time of independence, uniform civil code application is not possible. So they write it in the DPSP provision. And uniform civil code in India, we can see that uniform civil code in Goa, it follows Portuguese Civil Code 1867, which means that people of all religion in Goa are subject to the same law on marriage, divorce and succession. They follow Portuguese Civil Code of 1867, which is applicable to the all people in Goa irrespective of their religion. The Goa Daman and Diu Administration Act 1962, which was passed after Goa joined the Union as a territory in 1961, gave Goa permission to apply the civil code. Arguments in favor of uniform civil codes. Uniformity in governance. Having a common set of laws would streamline governance and administrative process, making it easier for state to administer justice, ensure the rights of the citizen. If we'll have a common set of laws, then it will be easy for administration of the country, for justice of the country. So uniformity, it will bring uniformity in governance. Next is women's right. Personal laws in different religion may have discriminatory position for provision for women, particularly against the women, and the uniform code will provide a more egalitarian, means equal legal framework. Secularism. What is secularism? Secularism is separation of religion from political, economic, social and cultural aspects of life. We know that India is a secular country, so uniform civil code is seen as a way to reinforce the secular fabric of the country by treating all the citizens equally irrespective of their religious affiliation. International image. If we implement UCC, it will increase India's international image by demonstrating a commitment to principles of equality, secularism, human rights. We will set an example to bring equality, secularism and human right if we implement uniform civil code. The Supreme Court in various judgments, including A very popular case, Muhammad Ahmad Khan versus Shah Banu Begum judgment, 1985, has called for the implementation of Uniform Civil Code, promote national spirit. The implementation of Uniform Civil Code will promote the integration of India by establishing a shared platform for diverse communities. We know that India is diverse countries. So if we implement Uniform Civil Code, it will share a platform for diverse communities. Challenges in the implementation of UCC. Infringement of fundamental right. Very important. Critics argue that implementation of UCC may infringe upon the right to religious freedom guaranteed by India's constitution under 25 to 28, which is fundamental rights for right to religion. For example, the Supreme Court in Vishwalochan Madan versus Union of India and ORS on 7 July 2014 declared that Muslim Shariat courts have no legal sanction. It drew a sharp reaction from some Muslim clerics who tried to defend their right to practice their religion, including the issue of fatwas under the constitutional guarantee of religious freedom. So, why it is infringement of fundamental rights? Infringement is violation of fundamental rights. Why? Critics argue that Article 25 and 228 provides right to religion, which is fundamental in nature, which is our fundamental rights. For example, a case was arrived named Vishwalochan Madan versus Union of India and OR 7 July 2014 declared that Muslim Shariat courts have no legal sanction. So it drew a sharp reaction for some Muslim clerics. Some Muslim clerics means Muslim मौलवी में एक sharp reaction देखा गया था, who tried to defend their rights to practice their religion, including the issue of fatwas under the constitutional guarantee of religious freedom. Diversity in personal law. As Law Commission in its 2018 consultation paper noted that certain tribes in Meghalaya follow a female line of descent and property in inheritance by youngest daughter. So in Meghalaya, we can see that the property will be inherited for the youngest daughter. While among the Naga tribes, women are not allowed to inherit property or marry outside the tribe. These different in cultural practices would also have to be considered when it comes to draw a uniform civil code, because every community has different religious belief, every community has different beliefs, culture traits. So we can consider while applying the uniform civil code. Social disruption and backlash. Recently, we witnessed protests against uniform civil code in several states in India like Kerala, Nagaland, Meghalaya. The protesters were organized by various religious and political groups who were concerned that the uniform civil code would infringe, means would violate on their religious and cultural rights. Next is lack of political will. The implementation of uniform civil code requires a political consensus, which critics argue that is challenging to achieve due to differing ideologies and interests among political parties and religious groups. If a political party tries to implement uniform civil code, they may violate by any religion or any community, which is not good for any political party. So, as successive government have failed to provide uniform civil code, as they have succumbed means stop fighting against something, to the vested interest of large section of patriarchal Hindu society and Muslim groups who want to follow Sharia laws. Muslims wants to follow their own personal Sharia law. So, this is so difficult to implement uniform civil code. Opposition from religious groups. This is the one of the most trivial and obvious hurdle to bringing up the UCC, as fundamentalism is deep rooted in many religions in India. Also, the minorities are fearful that uniform civil code would be mainly dictated to and influenced by majority religious communities and would neglect their cultural tradition. Fear among minorities. There is a contention that uniform civil code may potentially enforce a code that is influenced by Hindu practices in all communities. The Law Commission of India stated that uniform civil code is neither necessary nor desirable at this stage. Very important. It recommended that discriminatory practices, prejudices, and stereotypes within a particular religion of personal laws should be studied and amended. Way ahead. So you can write your conclusion. The authorities should consult with different section of society before implementing the UCC to foster an environment of inclusivity, transparency, and respect of diverse perspectives throughout the process. The Law Commission expressed its support for achieving equality within communities as opposed to pursuing equality between communities. You can quote that the Law Commission expressed its support for achieving equality within communities. Law Commission wants support achieving equality within communities as opposed pursuing equality between communities. Okay, so thank you for watching, and you can practice this question, and after listening this lecture you can write this question. Thank you.